Hello to everyone in TV land. This is Focus on Liberia Online Television, and you are listening to the Focus on Liberia Daily News with Gwendolyn Dorado. I bring you the headlines. DEA boss blames joint security for spike in drugs imports at Liberia's borders. CBL confirms extension of cash retrieval. Nibayan's descent on VP Quan. China Union admits to 8 years failure in Liberia, and controversy surrounds ghost names propaganda. Those were the headlines, and I'll bring you the news in details. Abraham Kroma, the head of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, has accused the joint security at the country's borders of facilitating an alarming increase of drugs importation. Kroma, expressing his frustration at the lackluster efforts to curb drug smuggling, stated he will withdraw all LDEA officers assigned at various border checkpoints. According to Kroma, the tasked LDEA officers have failed to exercise the due diligence while inspecting vehicles entering and leaving Liberia, particularly at night operations. He noted the lax approach has alleged allowing an influx of narcotics into the country, posing threat to national security and public health. The United Nations Population Fund Liberia office estimates 1 in 5 young people living in an impoverished neighborhood in Monrovia, the country's capital. While it's not a major producer of narcotic drugs, but its ports, borders, and territories provide favorable conditions for drugs smugglers. Kluma expressed the importance of stringent border securities and expressed disappointment with the current joint securities performance. He expressed concern that the issues had been overlooked for far too long, allowing the drug trade to flourish at an astonishing rate. To address the issue, Kroma announced his decision to withdraw all the LDEA officers from their assigned border checkpoints, effective immediately, believing that the bold move will demonstrate the gravity of the situation and its repercussion if not addressed promptly. The Central Bank of Liberia has announced the extension of the 31st March deadline for the currency exchange exercise by 6 weeks up to May 15. On Monday, the New Dawn newspaper reported that the CBL authorities were about seeking President Joseph Boakai's approval to extend the ongoing cash retrieval exercise across the country due to some members of the public in recent weeks who have been raising concerns about not being able to meet the CBL deadline because of their locations in remote places and the absence of commercial banks. Despite the challenges, the paper has learned that the CBL has retrieved a large amount of its target old bank notes, but there is still a large volume of the old bank notes in circulation. Meanwhile, the bank has extended its appreciation to all stakeholders and, more importantly, the executive and the legislature for their support in the national endeavor, and looks forward to the fullest cooperation of the public with the new deadline to ensure a successful completion of the exercise. Vice President Jeremiah Quan has been criticized by the people of Nemba for allegedly abandoning several projects in the county while he served in the legislature. Disappointed citizens told reporters that since they elected Quan first in the House and the Senate, where he spent 3 years, he had never completed any project initiated in the county. Two of the disappointed citizens, Emmanuel Swa and Harrison Dan, specifically named proposed elementary schools and clinics that the former lawmaker should have constructed after he broke ground over 6 years ago, including bridges, a town hall, a maternal waiting room, and theaters. But the citizens expressed, referring to those projects as campaign promises that the former senator, now vice president, used to fool Nimbayans into voting for him. However, responding to the citizens' concern, when he appeared on a community radio in the county, the chief of the office staff of the vice president, Prince Makalo Wiyu, announced that the vice president has resolved to complete every project he had initiated fully. More than a month after the 54th legislature brought China Union Investment Liberia Bond Mines Company Limited to the spotlight for reneging to do the needful, the company has openly admitted to failure to live up to its corporate social responsibilities for about 8 years in Liberia, while promising to pay the social development funds owed for the said years. The company's public relations officer, Maurice Tate, disclosed over the weekend in Kakata, Maigibi County, during a remark at the county's District 4 lawmakers' yellow machine dedication. Representative Emmanuel Ya invited him to clarify for the public that the machine was made available by the China Union. According to him, Honorable Ya and Honorable Forde have been pushing China Union, and now China Union is talking about giving some social development funds for the people for the past 8 years. China Union operates the iron ores in Maigibi and Bond counties, but transports them through Mansuratu County, making them obligated to the counties yearly. In a stunning development, the Unity Party-led government finds embroiled in a controversy surrounding the removal of individuals from the government's wage bill. The individual labeled as ghosts have sparked a heated debate over the motives behind their dismissal. The government asserts that the ghosts were wrongly included in the payroll, draining valuable state resources. However, doubt have risen regarding the true nature of the individuals and posed questions whether they are truly ghosts or if it's a part of an international scam orchestrated by the Boakai's regime to eliminate its citizens from employment. In a notable case of the executive mansion, the Liberian president's office, where over 700 Liberians were suddenly terminated and classified as ghosts by the Human Resource Department, despite meeting face-to-face with the individuals, they were still dismissed under the questionable designation. Furthermore, it is observed that a significant number of those affected the dismissals are supporters of former President George Weah. This fuels speculations that the Boakai's government intentionally targets Weah supporters. In light of the circumstances, it is crucial for the Boakai's administration to engage in thoughtful and introspective decision-making. That does it for the Focus on Liberia Daily News. I bring you a recap of the headlines. DEA boss blames joint security for spike in drugs imports at Liberia's borders. CBL confirms extension of cash retrieval. Nibayans descend on VP Quan. China Union admits to 8 years failure in Liberia, and controversy surrounds God's name's propaganda. On behalf of the management and staff of Focus on Liberia, many thanks to our listeners and viewers. We urge that you keep following us and share our videos. My name is Gwendolyn Dorado. I present it.